are Max. We are one. And we are undivided.
Nous sommes Max, nous sommes un, et nous sommes indivisibles.
Somos Max, somos uno, somos inseparables.
Somos Max, somos uno, somos inseparables.
Todos somos Max.
We are Max.
𝐇𝐄𝐋𝐋. We are Max, we are one, and we are undivided.
We are one.
Max morning! I'm Rufus from Max Malaysia.
We are one, we are Max, and we are undivided.
Somos uno y somos inseparables.
We've been to Asia, Africa, Latin America, North America, and now to the first place in the world that says Max Morning.
ラチュラチュラ聞いてるおてアロハ away. Did you know New Zealand is pretty much the first place in the world to see the sun? Koera tātou matiki mota ai. Because we're first to rise and shine each morning means we've got a bit more time up our sleeves. E tēnei nā. So, we always have time to say kia ora, hello, tēnā koe. Every morning is a new opportunity. Ko wātea tātou whakaatu atu ki te tangata. We've got time for the little things. To show people around the place, not just as guests, but as whānau, our family. Tuku kōrero, tuku iho. Pass on our local knowledge. Ngā wahi pai, our favourite spots. And you know, do whatever it takes to make everybody feel our welcome.
Good morning, world. I hope you have a really cool day.
Ka waiku.
Bula, kia ora, g'day. Max morning, Max afternoon, Max evening. Take your pick. We say all of them here down in Max Oceania, or as we like to say down under, Max Oceania. I'd like to give you a huge welcome to the last event in our Undivided convention. First off, I'd like to say a huge thank you to 100% Pure New Zealand for producing that wonderful video that you just watched. So join with me for the next couple of hours as we celebrate, train, hear some amazing messages, and most importantly, recognize you, our associates, because you are the reason why we're all here today. To kick things off, we are going to hear a message from our president, Jim. So take it away.
Welcome to the Max International 2020 Convention, Max Undivided. I'm so happy to have you all here today. It's going to be a wonderful event. In all of my lifetime, I have never seen a year like 2020. It has been unique, and not only unique in Utah or in New York or in the United States, it's around the world. All of a sudden, we've learned about wearing masks, and we've learned about social distancing, and we've learned about you can't shake hands, and immune systems, and vaccines. We've learned all of these things that we've never had to learn before. We've had challenges. We've had challenges in every single Max office around the world. All of these challenges came onto us. And what we've seen, because of the diversity of our associates, we saw an army of problem solvers. You guys were great. All around the globe, every Max market continued to operate. Before coming to Max, I was an attorney for 35 years. And every once in a while I'll hear people make jokes about, oh, Max International, that's a company run by a bunch of lawyers, referring to me and Joe. Well, the one thing that I learned in practicing law is paying attention to details. And Joe is the same way. You wouldn't believe the details that we would have to examine and verify and work through when we were practicing law. Well, that discipline enabled us to keep this company on track. It enabled us to make sure that we survived the pandemic, and we have survived it. And what do we have now because we've survived? We have thriving businesses all around the world on every single continent. There are Max associates selling product, sharing the experience, and making money. It is a tremendous feat, and it shows that when we work together, undivided, when we have quality products, Max Ribosine, and we have an opportunity for people to have a livelihood that will continue, you will be successful. Now, the challenges that you people have as associates is a very interesting one, because your speaking points have only improved. All of a sudden, everybody around the world is thinking about their health. They're thinking, how do I keep my body strong? What do I do? What is essential to a healthy body? Well, the basis of a healthy body, the basic, is glutathione. Well, how do you support glutathione? Ribosine. So you have a message that you need to share with everyone you meet around the world, because their health depends on it. And if they're healthy, they will survive this. If they're not healthy, they will have problems for themselves and their families. So share the magic of ribosine with everyone that you can. That is your mission. Opportunity. How many people all around the world will walk down their main street and they will see businesses gone? Well, that is where you have an advantage. Your businesses were able to continue. They continued. We were able to deliver product, you were able to sell the product, and you got paid. That's a message. That's a very strong message. That's something that you can share with everyone. And if they worry about, is Max going to be in business? You tell them, no, we have these two crazy lawyers who know how to look at detail. They'll keep us going. They'll make sure we survive. This is a business that will be here. It'll be here for the rest of your lives and your children's lives. It will be here as long as you want it to be. Enjoy the event. I am sure you will have inspiration, you will have laughs, you will have a great time. And now, let me introduce you to my friend and my partner and your CEO, Joseph Wojtycki.
Hey everybody, Joe Wojtycki, CEO of Max International here. Thank you, Jim, for that wonderful introduction. What a great video about New Zealand and all of the themes that echo throughout the country, throughout Oceania. Welcome to your convention 2020, Undivided. This is the last of the conventions in the Max world, but in your country and in your area of the world, you are the first to greet the day. So it is Max Morning New Zealand, Max Morning to Australia, Max Morning to Fiji, Max Morning to all of our wonderful associates in the entire region. We really, really appreciate you guys. You guys embody so much strength, so much passion, so much belief in what Max is all about. And you know what? We know that 2020 has been an extraordinarily difficult year, very, very tough times. And we know that you guys as leaders, as associates in Max's market in Oceania, have gone through a lot of things, a lot of tough times. You know, it's something that just happens in life. When you have things going on, you have to figure out how to persevere. Now, you guys have met that challenge at each and every instance. We've seen things like leaders coming, leaders going, you know, people going and starting to try to sell other products, trying to recruit people from other people's teams, all types of things. And you guys have managed to hang in there. You've shown the perseverance. You've shown the confidence in Max's products. You guys have what it takes to be successful. And that is so important, to believe in your products, to believe in your company, and to believe in each other. That's what it takes to get through something like 2020. And you guys have shown that. And you have the strength and you have the skill to survive and to succeed. And we are so appreciative of all of your efforts. You guys have managed to help stabilize the market over there, because we have the absolute best products, and you guys have shown the confidence in those products. In this convention, you are going to get to hear from the man himself, Dr. Herbert T. Nagasawa, who showed the same type of perseverance, the same type of confidence, the same type of belief in the mission that you guys have. So you will hear from him today. You are going to hear from some of your leaders, great leaders that are going to show you the confidence, the training, all of the things that you have to do to be successful in this mission, in this business. And I know that you guys are going to enjoy it. It is going to be fantastic. You're going to also get to see some amazing thank yous to Dr. Nagasawa for all of the work that he put into delivering this awesome product, ribosine, to us, so that we could make a business and share this product with the world. And that is what you guys are doing within Oceania. You guys are giving people hope. You're bringing to people products that make a difference in their health. That's number one. But you're also bringing people a great business opportunity. So we are so proud to have you guys as associates. We are so happy to have you as our partners in this mission. And it is going to be nothing but great from here on in. You're going to see new tools in our new VO. You're going to see an enhancement to our compensation plan. So many great things are coming because you guys have hung in there, you fought with us, and we are here to support you. So congratulations, thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon in 2021. I am Joe Wojtycki, I am Max International, and we are Max.
Thank you so much, Joe. We really do appreciate all the hard work that you and your team have put into leading this company in the right direction. Now we're going to hear from someone who we really miss here down under. It's been over a year since we've seen him, since he's been with us, and since he's brought me C's candy. John, we miss you, but we are super excited to hear what you have to say to all of us now.
It's a privilege for me to be here and represent one of our largest markets in the world, our North America, as well as our Oceania markets. My name is John Winterholler. I've been with Max nearly 5 years now and have been in this industry for almost 15 years. And I can honestly say it has been one of the greatest experiences of my life to get to know this industry, to work in it at various levels, to get to know companies from all over the world, and then ultimately to become a part of the Max executive team and represent our sales force, represent the markets of North America, and represent the markets of Oceania, our New Zealand, Australia, and South Pacific markets. Like I mentioned, about 15 years ago, I took a radical turn in my career and chose to go into an industry which I had no experience in whatsoever. I found it to be extraordinarily challenging. I found it to be a way that people could take control of their own careers. And having come from the corporate world myself, I knew how important this was to not only myself, but to individuals from every market in which we serve. I went to work and got to know every level of the business. This was in about 2006. Shortly after I got involved in the business, and I lived here in Salt Lake City, I heard about another company that had launched about a similar time that I had begun working in the industry. It was called MACS International. I knew little about it, but I was hearing all kinds of information, all kinds of buzz in the marketplace about this company that had truly wonderful products, scientifically backed, scientifically based. And I heard all kinds of buzz about some of the people involved in MACS, many of them the field leaders that I have become acquainted with in a very short period of time. I must admit that I was an admirer of MACS International from afar, as I worked in another company, and MACS grew and began to thrive. So ironically, about 5 years ago, a very good friend of mine who was working for MACS International at the time called and asked if I would be interested in interviewing for a position with MACS, with a gentleman named Joe Wojtycki. Now the rest of the story is that just about 3 years prior to that, I had received a random call from Joe Wojtycki, a man I had never met, but had asked me some questions about my experience in the network marketing industry, in particular, opening up the African markets. So Joe and I spoke that day for more than 2 hours. I shared with him all of my lessons that I had learned, the things that happened that were really good, the lessons that we learned that we could have done better. And Joe and I cordially hung up the phone and never spoke again until this friend of mine introduced me to MACS International. The next day, I was here in the MACS corporate office, meeting with Joe and Jim. And we shortly thereafter decided that I might be a fit within MACS International, and I came to work in January of 2015. Since that time, my responsibilities started in the Oceania market and expanded later that year into the North America market, which I can say the combination of those two has been an extraordinary career and personal experience for me. I've gotten to know people in every one of our markets around the world. I've been able to attend some of our corporate events, our corporate conventions, our diamond recognition events. And I've been able to attend local meetings in each one of our markets, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Toronto, Canada, in Miami, in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and beyond. We live in a different time right now in 2020 with the COVID virus experience that we're all going through. And ironically, I must admit that I miss being on an airplane. I miss those 14.5-hour flights to New Zealand to meet with my staff there. I miss going to Toronto and meeting with all of our teams there and seeing the enthusiasm and the dedication and the passion around MACS International, and in particular around our MACS products. I miss seeing each one of you, shaking your hands and receiving the generous hugs that you give me each and every time I arrive. I look forward to that day very much, when we can do this all again. Now that said, I must give you all major kudos, because honestly, you have made this business not only survive, but thrive in a very different environment in which we're operating today. None of us expected that we would be working from home nearly full time. None of us expected that the meetings that we were so good at, that we were holding in person, the meetings to bring people together by dozens and hundreds at a time, would be put on hold, and yet our businesses continued to grow and thrive, all because of you, our MACS associates throughout the world. I am so honored to be a part of you and a partner with you in our journey to make MACS International an even bigger force for the world. I thrill each time I think about it to know that the products that we have that MACS began with all those years ago are not only still relevant today, but probably more relevant today than they've ever been, as health becomes a major thrust for what each one of us and all those people who have not been introduced to MACS are looking for. So please keep up the good work. Please continue to strive to become the best you can be. Please continue to seek after all the goals and achievements that you had in mind when you started and joined this Max business. And I can promise you that Max International, from the corporate office to our local offices and to everywhere in between, is behind you. We're here to support you, and we have great days ahead. It's a wonderful time to be part of Max International, and I can promise you that my heart and soul is in it, because I get my enthusiasm and my confidence from each one of you in the field. Thank you for your dedication, your passion, your belief, your support, and sometimes your criticism of things that we could do better, because truly, without that dialogue between us, it would be very difficult for us to become the company that we know we can all become, even though we're very proud of who we are today. So I thank each one of you. I'm glad to be part of this global convention. I recognize Larry and his entire marketing team, and Jenny for putting this together, for Joe and Jim for throwing their support behind it, so we can all get together globally and share in the same messages, that we can know that our company is in good stead. It's a healthy company. We have great days ahead, both now as well as into the future, all being part of the Max family together. So thank you. I look forward to being with you once again as we're able to travel, hopefully as early as 2021, to come to your individual and local markets, to shake your hands and give you those warm hugs and receive them back, and to talk about new things that are going on in the business, how wonderful our products are. Looking forward to our things such as the Medical Symposium, which we're in production on right now. Working with each one of you to help you attain your goals, achieve the rank advancements and the financial rewards that you so earnestly seek after. I am honored to be a part of you, and thank you for your support of me and our markets throughout the world. One of my first responsibilities when I joined Max International nearly 5 years ago was to oversee the Oceania market, which includes New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, and the South Pacific Islands. I was able to travel to our New Zealand office, which services that entire market, and I met a group of staff that were extraordinary in their talents and their dedication towards our company. As I got to know them better, and as change happened, as is inevitable in any business, the opportunity to oversee the office there became available. And it was my choice to go down and interview a variety of candidates who might be the on-site person to oversee our operations in New Zealand, which is a much bigger job than that sounds. It includes customer service. It includes the associate attention that's required within customer care. It includes all the finance, warehouse fulfillment, inventory management, and a job that's extraordinary in breadth. It was clear to me at that time that I had the opportunity to name an individual who'd been with Max several years, but showed great potential, great enthusiasm, great intellect. And Alan Mason was the person that we selected to oversee the office in our New Zealand area. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Alan Mason, our office manager in New Zealand, who oversees everything that I described before. And Alan will be giving us an update on this market, where it stands today, and where we see it go in the future. Alan, take it away.
Kia ora Max whānau, Max morning, and welcome from Auckland, New Zealand. You'll find Auckland in Aotearoa, New Zealand, in an unassuming corner of the globe. Now this is assuming, of course, that New Zealand is actually on the map that you're looking at, as many it is not there. The Max Oceania market includes established support and order delivery to people in New Zealand, Australia, and Fiji specifically. In addition to this, and on a private basis, our clients also share with family in a number of other Pacific Island nations, and the reception is definitely positive. Max products continue to make a noticeable difference in people's lives consistently. Alright, let's get to work. The central Max hub in the Oceania region is in Auckland, New Zealand. While our main focus has been for our Oceania clients, we often find ourselves assisting Max associates and customers in other countries like the Philippines, Malaysia, North America, and many others also. What do we do here? For those unfamiliar with the New Zealand Max office, we are a little unique. We directly handle things for 3 countries, spanning as many as 7 different time zones all at once. It's a little bit funny at times. The phone will ring and there's a split second pause whilst we're thinking, am I supposed to be saying good morning, good afternoon? We hope we get it right, and most of the times we do. But every now and again we'll get caught out and we'll end up having a bit of a chuckle with the person we're having a chat to. It all turns out well in the end and it just adds a little bit of fun to the day. From the office here, we run customer support, we receive, pack and distribute all the orders for the region. Where are we now? 2020 so far has been a fascinating year. Amongst government regulations, we have managed to keep operations going in some form or another the whole time. A definite thank you to our clients this year. 2020 has been an interesting year, and as we've all been adjusting to different scales, different international flight schedules, and even in the postal service, different volume rates and different handling rates, we thank everyone for their patience during this time. We aim at being here and helping people live abundant lives supported by fantastic products. We aren't just all about being in the office, however. Well, in 2020 it's a little difficult, but we are there, at least in spirit, with all of our folks out there in the regions. But as soon as we can, we are very much looking forward to getting back to what we have been doing before, getting out to regional events and annual conventions once again. We definitely love spending time with our Max family. If you want to find more about what people in Max get up to, make sure you check out the official Max channel, Max International LLC, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and SoundCloud. And when it comes to keeping up to speed with what's coming next, because believe me, we've got some really cool things that are already planned, and then in addition to that, we've got some other things that are not quite ready to announce, but are still in the works. So if you want to find out what the next big event is for those who are really shooting to go somewhere, be sure to check out more about the Diamond Retreat, which we'll show you a little video right now.
Ignition and liftoff of Shuttle Discovery.
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm originally from small town Waikato, living in Auckland most of my life. I've been with Max for coming on 8 years now. When I'm not working, you'll find me doing a number of things. It might be that I am dancing, teaching up on stage, group fitness classes, hiking, climbing trees, organising live music production, and many other interesting things. The thing I love about Max is that there is definitely a vast range of different things to learn. You can think that you have done everything, that you've seen everything, and then the next day something else pops up and it's all brand new again. A mentor of mine told me that taking on the role of manager in a multinational office during a time of business transition would be one of the trickiest and complicated and inspiring challenges that someone of my age could take on. Now, he was not wrong. Working with Max is definitely interesting and challenging at times. But no matter the task or the puzzle at hand that needs to be solved, we never lose what really matters, And all it takes is a few seconds back on the phone talking with our folks, and then within a few moments, we're back. We're back to what is really important once again. Our team at the Auckland Max office is a small but happy little team. Our team have a great array of skills that really do add to what our team can offer to our people around the Max world. And I'd love to be able to show you some of the team that work for us. So let's hear from some of them.
Kia ora, nau mai haere mai ki te Aotearoa, New Zealand. And hi, my name is Destiny, and here I am standing at Mission Bay, one of the beautiful beaches that we call home in Auckland.
Talofa, my name is Dan. I'm from Dunedin, a small town in the South Island of New Zealand. Around 5 years ago, I moved to our largest city in the North Island, Auckland, and joined the New Zealand Max office as part of the customer support team after being introduced by a family friend.
Malo elele. My name is Betelo Tangilani, and I was born and raised in Tonga. It's a little island in the Pacific Ocean, and I had the opportunity to move to New Zealand many years back, and also opportunity to work for Max.
Good morning, Malalele, kia ora. My name is Anna. I am the logistic warehouse supervisor in Max New Zealand office.
Kia ora, my name is Usha and I'm the Customer Support Team Leader at the New Zealand Max office, and I have had the pleasure of working for Max for the last 7 years. I'm originally from England, but I've lived in Auckland for the last 19 years.
I enjoy pop culture, combat sports, motorsports, family activities, and my animals. In my spare time, I like to take on small DIY projects such as electronics, mechanics, and construction.
I grew up in Tonga and I moved over here about 30 years ago. I got a husband, I got 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls. I love playing music, hearing, I love singing, I love playing volleyball and reading story. I've been joining Max when Max started about 2 months, and I walk in Max. Until now, I'm still enjoying working in Max. I love their product. I love everything over here. So it's hard for me to move to other things because I love everything. People I meet, my colleague over here, the team that I work with, I love them.
I love coming to work every day with my teammates and helping you help yourselves. I love my family, I love life, and I love traveling.
I am married, and I also have a 5-year-old son. That's a blessing to me and also my family.
I have 3 children, 2 who work and study in London, and my youngest is starting Auckland University next year. I love travelling, all types of music, live theatre, comedy, and socialising with family and friends. I'm also an avid reader, a good cook, and a pretty mean baker. I love talking to people, and I love hearing your stories about the positive impact that Max products have made in your life.
2 things I love about Max. One is our Max Gives Back events, and the other is our great products. I personally take the Max 357, the 𝐇𝐄𝐋𝐋𝐎, our Max ATP and Max Infuse.
I have been with Max International for 5 years now, and now starting off with customer support, I've worked my way up to events coordinator. I organise all of our business events, conventions, recognitions and training events in New Zealand, Fiji and Australia. What do you need to know about me? I love talking and connecting with people. I love hearing your stories and how Max International has changed your life.
I had the opportunity to participate in a Max Gives Back event as part of an Oceania convention. This was a real eye-opener with the small things we did, such as cooking and cleaning. making a small donation and just listening to their stories, seeing their reaction and knowing that we were there to listen is something that I'll remember for years to come.
Here at Max, we are a small, tight-knit family who live and breathe our products and who enjoy coming to work every single day. My name is Usha. We are Max. We are one, and together we are undivided.
My name is Dan. We are Max. We are one, and together we are undivided.
My name is Betelo. We are Max, and we are one, and together we are undivided.
Ko ingoa ko ana o ko he family o Max o mau tahape o ikai ke mau vai vai.
You heard him at the Max North America convention, and we felt his insight was so valuable that we wanted to bring him back to share with our associates here in Oceania. Reintroducing Mr. Dean Brenner, a man who is very well experienced at what he does. He has coached C-suites, executives, business leaders, sales teams, companies on the Fortune 500 list, and he brings all of his experience as a coach, a team leader, entrepreneur, and a husband. Take it away, Mr. Brenner.
Hello, everybody. My name's Dean Brenner, and I'm the president and founder of the Latimer Group, an executive coaching and training firm based on the East Coast of the United States in Connecticut. I'm excited to speak with you today as part of Max International's Undivided Conference 2020. And our topic today is going to be creating connection in a noisy world. I think we all can agree that business success, and in particular sales success, is dependent upon our ability to connect in meaningful ways with the people around us, the people in our lives. And yet it's never been harder than it is right now to build meaningful connections. We're living in a very fast-paced world, a very opinionated world, a very noisy world. So what I'm going to do with you over the next few minutes is I'm going to share some thoughts and experiences from my life as an executive coach. And I'm going to be sharing with you what I think is most important for you to be thinking about as you build your network and as you really focus on the strength of the connections that you have. So let's get started. I've got some slides that I'm going to share with you today. I'm really excited for this conversation. Let's get to work. Creating connection in a noisy world. Big topic, right? Really big topic. Connecting with people has never been easy, ever. At any point in time, has it been easy to create meaningful connections with people. But as the world gets bigger, as the world moves more quickly, as people have more outlets, more sources of information, more distractions, it's getting harder and harder all the time. Yet we still have to be able to do it well. It is noisy. And the people that I speak to, and I'm sure you're hearing this in your network as well, the people around us, everyone complains about the same thing. Everybody complains about feeling overwhelmed, feeling distracted, feeling like there's too many things competing for their attention. And when you have all these distractions and all these things coming at you all day long, it becomes harder and harder for any one relationship or any one person to develop a really meaningful connection. But if we can focus on just a few things, if we can focus on doing a few things well, differently than everybody else does them, if we can take a few small skills and mindsets and skill sets and become really, really adept at them, I think you'll find what I have found, which is that very quickly you can differentiate yourself from the people around you and really start to build much more meaningful connections throughout your network. Let's talk a little bit more, though, about what makes it so hard. There's a term that I've heard used many, many times, and it's a very powerful term, and it's called the sea of overwhelm. The sea of overwhelm. Everyone that I know is drowning in a sea of overwhelm. Now, why is that? Why are people feeling this way? Let me give you a few statistics that I think are really going to surprise you. Every day worldwide, the following happens. We send 18.7 billion text messages. Every day. That's a big number. Every day, worldwide, we send 306 billion emails. Unbelievable. And this one I really found interesting. Every day, worldwide, we are now spending 66 billion minutes in Zoom meetings. And that's just Zoom. That's not other platforms. That's one platform. The bottom line is, between text messages, emails, online meetings, and this doesn't even count instant messages, this doesn't even count news alerts. There are a lot of things coming at us all day, every day. This is what we're working against. This is what we're fighting against. These are the types of things that get in the way of our ability to create meaningful connection. So how do we do that? How do we connect with people in a very detached world, in a very virtual world? Ever since the health crisis began in mid-March, all right, started a little earlier in different places around the globe, but where I'm from, it really started in mid-March. Everything got even harder. It's always been hard to connect. We're living in a sea of overwhelm. That makes it hard to connect. And then in mid-March, when the health crisis really got to a critical point, where I'm from in the United States, now all of a sudden we weren't going to work anymore. We weren't going to school anymore. We weren't going to restaurants anymore. We were only able to meet virtually, which makes connection even harder. It makes it even harder. So from my experience, connecting in a world like this requires that we go back to basics, requires that we think about a few things that have always been important, but maybe sometimes we forget to do well. And in your effort to continually improve your performance, continually improve your behavior, continually improve to become a better professional, these are some things that maybe you do, maybe you don't do them as often as you should, maybe you don't do them at all. But regardless, these are some things that all of us should focus on and start trying to do a little bit more often. So let me give you a few thoughts. Let's first talk about the mindsets that are required for great connection. I'm not talking about things we do. I'm not talking about techniques yet. I'm talking about the way we think. Let's talk about how we think. I'm going to give you 3 ideas, 3 mindsets. The first one is that we need to have a curiosity about other people. And that sounds very simple. Maybe it is, but it's not natural for a lot of people. As we all navigate our way through our daily lives and we're all focusing on ourselves, our business lives, our families, keeping our families safe, keeping our families healthy, keeping ourselves healthy, it takes a lot of effort to get through life on a daily basis. It's true for all of us. It's true for me. It's true for you. But if we really want to be able to connect with other people, we have to develop the curiosity to think beyond what we need and what our families need. Those things are important. But your business success is also important, and your business success is dependent upon your ability to connect. And connection is dependent upon having a mindset of curiosity about what's going on with other people. We're going to talk about some more specific behaviors in a moment. But first and foremost, you have to have the mindset of curiosity. You have to want to know more about the people around you. That's the first idea. The second idea, beyond just having a curiosity, we also have to develop an empathy for the experiences of other people. We have to understand that not everybody lives the same life that we live, for better or for worse. We have to understand that there are lots of different experiences out there, and the way that we navigate our way through the world isn't the same as everybody else. And we have to be able to get outside of our own head and be thinking with empathy about the experiences of others. That's the second idea. And then the third one, which is really connected to the first 2 on this page, we have to be able to keep our own ego under control, which is hard. for a human being to do. But before we can talk about, hey, what can I do to connect with people? How should I reach out? What are the things that I should do? Before we start talking about sales techniques or specific behaviors, what I have found is that real connection starts with the right attitude, the right mindset. Because if you do the right behaviors, the right sales tactics, without starting with the right mindset or behavior, those tactics are going to look fake, contrived. They're not going to look authentic. If you want to truly be the type of person that's able to connect effectively with people around you, it's not just about what you do. It starts with how you think. Having a real curiosity, having a real empathy, and being able to keep our ego under control. Critical mindsets when it comes to being the type of person that can connect really, really well. Think about that. It's not just about what you do. It starts with how you think. Let that sink in a little bit. Okay. Now let's keep talking, because it starts with mindsets, but it's not just about mindsets. There's more to it. Now let's talk about skill sets. What are the skill sets of human connection? What's required? What are the things that we need to be able to do? There's a few things I'd like to share with you here. First of all, let's go back to that sea of overwhelm. Let's go back to that really busy, noisy world that everybody else is experiencing, which makes connection harder. Well, guess what? We're experiencing it as well. We have all of those distractions coming at us as well. And if we are not able to control that in our own lives, it's going to be very hard for us to have an authentic curiosity and empathy for other people. If we cannot control the distractions in our own lives, we could want to be a great listener and a person who connects really well. But if we can't put our phone down ever, if we can't get beyond our own distractions, it's not going to matter. Just because we walk into the conversation with the best of intentions and then we keep getting distracted, we can't stop looking at our email, we can't stop looking at our phone. Every time it buzzes, we pick it up. If we can't control that, that's an important skill here. That's a skill, to control the distractions around us. Can you do that? You need to do that. That's the first skill set. Let's talk about the second skill set. We have to be willing and able to ask questions. Conversation, the art of conversation, which is at the heart of connection. Conversation is not just about what we say, what we declare, how we speak about the things that we know or the things that we believe. The art of conversation often comes back to the questions that we ask, which starts with the desire to ask questions. We talked about the mindset of curiosity and the mindset of empathy. Well, the mindset is one of curiosity. The skill set is being able to ask questions. Lots of them. Because when we ask people lots of questions, what we're really doing is we're inviting them to share of themselves. And when they share of themselves, we begin to understand them better. That connects back to the curiosity. We start to see other perspectives. That will connect to the empathy. And now we're starting to do the things that really lead to better connection. We must be willing and able to ask lots of questions. If you think about who's the most interesting person for you to speak to at a social engagement? Is it the person who speaks at you about themselves, or is it the person who asks you lots of questions about you? And when both parties are doing that and taking an interest in each other and having a curiosity about each other and asking lots of questions of each other, now we're really starting to get somewhere. Now we're starting to exhibit the skills that will lead to great human connection. Okay. And then the third skill set It's not enough to just ask questions. We also have to have the skill to listen to the answers, and that is a skill. And by the way, that's connected to the distractions in the first point. All right. I've met people, I've spoken to people who ask lots of questions, and you can tell that they're trying really hard to ask lots of questions. But once they get the question out of their mouths, it's almost like you can see something change in their brain. And they're like, I'm being a great conversationalist. I asked a question. And then you can see they're really not listening to your answer. It's not enough to just ask questions. You also have to be willing to control yourself, to control your distractions, and to listen to the answers that people give you to the questions that you ask. So great connection starts with mindsets, curiosity, empathy. But it continues with skill sets, controlling distractions, asking questions, and actually listening to the answers. Mindsets, skill sets. And the third thing is tools. And this is where I'd like to spend a few minutes today talking to you, because whenever we talk about connection, whenever we talk about business success, very often one of the things that gets ignored, one of the things that people forget to focus on, is the art of listening. And a lot of people think that the way you want to show how great you are and how successful you are is to spend a lot of time speaking about the things that you know, the things that you've done. A lot of people think that makes us interesting. It doesn't. What we really want to make sure that we can do, especially in a sales environment, especially when we're trying to do business with people, is to be able to listen actively to what they're telling us. And really active listening has three components. All right? We call this the 3 R's of active listening: respect, remember, and review. Respect, remember, and review. And my colleagues and I, when we're working with our corporate partners, training and coaching the people inside their organizations, we often refer to this as before, during, and after. And what we're suggesting to you here is that listening skills are on the short list for the most important things you need to be able to do to be able to connect with the people around you. If you are really bad at listening, it's almost like nothing else is going to matter for you. Listening makes everything else, everything about business easier. Listening makes everything about communication easier. It makes everything about connection easier. So let's dig into this for just a little bit, because I really want you to understand this. Respect, remember, review. So what I'm suggesting to you here is that really great connection is based on listening, and listening starts before the conversation even begins. Now, remember earlier I talked to you about the skill set of being able to control your own distractions. That's going to come back in right here. The respect piece of active listening starts beforehand, before the conversation, before the phone call, before the meeting. And what that means is you respect the situation, you get your distractions under control, and you force yourself to be present. You turn your phone off, you put it away. If you're sitting at your desk for the phone call, you turn your email off so that there's nothing distracting you. This is really hard to do. I know that when I'm sitting at my desk, if I have my email open on a screen next to me, as soon as I get that little alert that an email has come in, it's really hard for me not to look. It's really hard. It's hard for everybody. So what I'm suggesting here is eliminate the distraction before the listening opportunity even begins. Respect the situation, respect the person you're about to speak to, and force yourself to not be distracted. That's where listening begins. If the conversation begins and you're already distracted, it's not going to work well. The second part of active listening: respect, remember, during the meeting, during the conversation, during the social engagement. Do whatever you have to do to remain engaged and to help yourself remember what's most important about that conversation. For some people, if possible, that includes taking notes. That might not always be possible. But study after study will also show you that if you engage in some dialogue, some discussion, if you ask questions, if you repeat something back to make sure that you heard it correctly, that your retention level and your engagement with the person you're speaking to is going to be dramatically higher. Force yourself to exhibit the behaviors to stay engaged. It's more respectful of your audience. It's also going to help you remember more things. Respect, remember, and then this is my favorite part of active listening. This is my favorite part of trying to connect with clients of my company or potential clients or people that I'm getting to know, is the after piece, the review piece. Respect, remember, review. When the conversation's over, when I hang up the phone, when my colleague and I leave the meeting, spend a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be a long time. It could be a few minutes, and review what just happened. Review what just happened. What did you hear? What did you learn? Write it down. If it's somebody that you really want to do business with, if it's somebody that you really want to be connected to, treat the relationship seriously and write it down so that the next time you engage with them, you're more likely to remember it. My colleagues and I do this all the time. We get off the phone with a client or a potential client of my company, the Latimer Group. We always review afterwards what just happened, and we always take notes on what we learned. And what that leads to is a cumulative effect where over time, we're not just learning something and then forgetting it, we're accumulating it. So over time, our knowledge level and our comfort level, our understanding is going up. It's based on the mindset of curiosity, the mindset of empathy, and having our own ego under control. The conversation's not about us. It's about them. So what I really want you thinking about here is the tool, the critical tool for connection, active listening. And for you to be really good at active listening, you have to be able to do the things that I mentioned earlier. You have to have the mindset of curiosity, the mindset of empathy, and your ego has to be under control. You have to have the skill set of being able to control your distractions. You have to have the skill set of asking questions. And you have to have the skill set of actually waiting for the answers, listening for the answers. If you can do all those things, and then you use this tool, the 3 R's of active listening, now you are going to be communicating in a way that is very, very different for most people. You're going to be giving yourself significant competitive advantage. A lot of people think great communication in a sales environment is about what I say and how I dress and how I present myself. Those things are fine. Those things are important. But if you think about the people that have a big impact on you, the people that you notice, the people that you remember, it's probably not because of a really firm handshake or like the perfect outfit, the perfect haircut, the perfect voice. I don't know about you, but for me, I notice those things. Those things are fine. They're great. But the people that really make an impact on me, the people who I remember, the people who I want to be connected with, the people that I look forward to coming back to again, are the people that have the right mindset, the right skill set, and listen actively. And a couple of things happen when you listen really, really well. First of all, you're gathering better information about your customers or your potential customers. You're constantly gathering information. And obviously that's good for a sales person. That's obviously good. But something else happens. You and I both know when we're being listened to. Flip that around. We also know when we're not being listened to. And I think you'll agree with me when I say that when you can tell that somebody is not listening to you, they're pretending to, but they're really not. Either they're not asking questions at all, or they're asking questions but not listening to the answers. All those things we were talking about earlier. I think you and I can agree that we recognize that when we see it, and it doesn't feel good. We don't feel respected. We don't feel valued. But when we're talking to somebody who we can tell is totally present, totally in the moment, interested in the conversation with us, focused on the conversation with us, I think you'll agree with me, that does feel good. That person is present. They're valuing this conversation. They're valuing me. They're interested in what I have to say. That feels good. And what that does is it makes me look at that person and they become very credible to me. What listening does is it helps you in two ways. You gather better information about the people you want to do business with, but you also build credibility with those people because you're treating them with respect. You're treating them with respect. I hope these ideas are really starting to sink in a little bit, because in the almost 20 years that I've been doing this work, teaching communication skills inside corporate America with some of the biggest companies in our country, what I have found over and over and over again is that the biggest differentiator between bad communicators and good communicators, the biggest differentiator comes down to how they treat people and how present they are, how well they connect. Great communication is not about having the perfect words all the time. People don't remember the words you say nearly as long as they remember how you make them feel. And if you can make people feel valued and respected, that is, not only is that just a great way to be a human being, but it is also a great way to build your business. So let me start to wrap this up a little bit here. I want to be respectful of your time. Some observations. Everyone in the world is dealing with this sea of overwhelm. Everyone. You are, I am, and everybody you come in contact with. It's a noisy, busy world. Sales and business success require that we connect well with the people around us. It's not just about having the flashy sales technique. It's not about writing some magical email that people are going to automatically respond to. It's about how we treat people and how we connect with people. That's at the heart of success. And that connection requires that we have the proper mindset, the proper skill set, and the proper tool set at our disposal. So I hope you found this valuable. I hope this gives you some things to really, really think about. I know you've had a great year. I know it's been a hard year for a lot of people, but my understanding is you've also had a really good year, and that you're setting yourself up in 2021 for an even better year. I'm totally confident that that's going to happen for you, and I'm even more confident that if you really make an investment in the fundamental pillars of human connection, if you adopt the right mindsets, the right skill sets, and the right tools, I am absolutely confident that you are going to have a fantastic 2021. So let me pause right there. My name is Dean Brenner, president of the Latimer Group. I hope you found this valuable. I really appreciate having the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you here today. I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck in 2020, the rest of 2020, and into 2021. I wish you the best. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone at the MACS conference. My name's 𝐇𝐄𝐋𝐋𝐎 and I'm from Australia, Melbourne. I've been a MACS affiliate for a few years. I'm an Australian master swimmer. I've been using the MACS products now for probably 5 years.
G'day, my name is Heather Howarth and I live in a beautiful little seaside village very close to Melbourne in Australia.
Hi, my name's Cara and I'm from Melbourne, Australia.
Hey everyone, how you going? Coach Dan here of Fierce Fitness Toowoomba here in Queensland, Australia.
Hi, I'm Danielle Salvatore from Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Bernie Ogilvie. I'm from the big city of Auckland, New Zealand.
Hello, my name is Karen Livingstone and I'm speaking to you today from Melbourne, Australia.
Hi, I'm Sue Barron from Melbourne, Australia, down under.
MACS International and its products have been life-changing for me.
If you've ever had vertigo, you know where your world spins because you're dizzy. Try having it for 5 years. It totally changed my world. I could no longer work and exercise the way that I used to. I sought all sorts of medical help to see if anything could be resolved. I underwent all sorts of tests and there was nothing conclusive. Very fortunately, a friend of mine out of the States thought to introduce Max International's glutathione boosting product to me.
I'm here to tell you that I've had a wonderful experience from the use of the product. It has helped me dramatically to change my health condition and for the good, and it's been greatly used by others likewise.
I first found Max products through a friend about 5 or so years ago now, and I've been very grateful for that. They've very much helped me with my health. I'm a shift worker, and that takes a bigger toll than not working shift work does on your body, and I've found it's been a great help.
When asked about my overall benefits from taking Max International products, and more importantly for me, Cellgevity, it's a very, very easy and natural answer. I've been taking the products for just over 3 years. I definitely have more energy during the day to do my training and all of the activities here at the gym. I also have an overall better quality of sleep, where I used to have trouble sleeping and staying asleep.
Cellgevity just to help control oxidation and inflammation associated with my training, and also the Max ATP products for not only training and sprint sessions but also at competition level too. So I found they've been an absolute winner in terms of my nutrition strategy and just keeping my balance and good health, and making sure that my energy is at its peak at all times, and that I'm eliminating further risk of injury to my old damaged shoulders. So I found it's been a really great addition to my routine, my workouts, my nutrition.
But since Max International came into my life, Cellgevity and ATP, I can honestly say that I've regained my energy, my health, my life really, and I live a fantastic life now, free of pain, free of all those debilitating symptoms that I once had. Thank you Max International, and thank you Cellgevity and ATP, the hero products for me.
I started using them about 10 years ago, and they have significantly helped my health.
In the future, I hope that many more people will discover glutathione and Max's incredible products. I hope that it will go to the world and the world will understand how powerful this product is. I wish you well. I wish you the best of health and the best of wellness. Thank you Max International. I am very appreciative of all your efforts.
I just want to say to everyone at this virtual summit and virtual conference, thanks very much for letting me say good day.
Hi everybody, I'm Sue Barron from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm excited to introduce you today to two friends of mine, Josh Webb and Andre Heimgartner. Josh I met about 6 years ago. He's my personal trainer and he also trains elite motorsport athletes. Andre is one of his athletes that he trains. I actually met Josh 6 years ago, and it was just before he was about to compete himself in Hawaii Ironman, and that's when I introduced him to the Max products. So I'm going to pass over to Josh now and let him tell you a little bit about his story and how the products have helped him.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for the intro, Sue. We'll get to Andre later. You wait your turn, buddy. So yeah, obviously, yeah, regarding the Max products was an awesome intro regarding getting set up for Hawaii Ironman. In the lead up to that, I was training Sue on the treadmill one day, and she was telling me about a couple of products, namely being ATP and Cellgevity, which was to come later. But ATP was the first one that she put me onto. She said, hey, look, I've got this awesome product and it could really help you in your training program and also coming into the race event. Being in that state, I was like, oh yeah, cool, another supplement, awesome. You know, everyone's been trying to throw you supplements being a professional athlete and sponsored. So, look, I gave it a go. I thought there's nothing to lose. You know, I'll try anything for an edge. So I gave a few of those sachets a go on a few of my rides. And I know noticed a massive increase, and also knowing now what I know back, if I knew what I know now back then, would have made a big difference, because there was a few markers there that I didn't realise. But that's why the ATP made such a big difference, is because I was lacking in so many other things. So that buffer of having so much more glutathione and cellular recovery in my system made a big difference in not only my performance but my recovery time as well. So at that point, then I kind of pushed a bit harder and asked Sue what was that all about. And her being a good client of mine, she ran me through a lot of the product listings and what it was and how it worked. So then I was a bit more curious around how I could start applying that into my own training. And then from there, it kind of moved into what I do with my athletes as well. But that supplement did really well. I ended up coming 119th in the world at Hawaii Ironman. So for me, that was a massive achievement. I haven't been doing Ironman for that long, and to be able to get to that kind of result I was pretty happy with. So from there, I started to learn a little bit more about, those products, and, a bit more around oxidative stress and how to get rid of all those toxins out of your system. And that was a big product for me. And then moving into the Cellgevity, which was more of like an acute version of getting that cellular recovery into my system. So that acclimatizing with also doing DNA testing was a good marker for me to understand, how much toxins my body holds. How do I flush that toxin out of my body, as well as getting rid of all the inflammation and all those little acute things that I wasn't doing, like vitamin B was off, and you accumulate all those things together, it makes a big increase in performance. So from there, I started to work with Sue quite well with starting to test my athletes for DNA, and then from there we can really prescribe what kind of supplements would work the best for these guys. And I found Cellgevity as an awesome one. I've started to shift more towards ATP just for performing on race events and like really hard training sessions over that hour duration. But Cellgevity was pretty much the one that I use a lot for my clients, just to get rid of all the oxidative stress of traveling, the stress of the events, detoxifying the body every day as well. But yeah, in conjunction with those two supplements, I found it's worked really well, and that's why I've started to introduce a lot of that DNA and Cellgevity Max into my athletes now. I use Andre as an example. It's probably one of my first guinea pigs I started to use the supplements with, and Sue's been part of that journey as well. So we started to apply, sachets originally on the weekends for his race events, and he found he had a great response for that. So then we started to introduce other things like Cellgevity, and then he did his DNA after that, and then it was just a building block to, really deliver better results.
So yeah, Josh covered a lot of it, I guess, but mainly for me, it's the max ATP thing is obviously something we've found very beneficial, because in a car, you don't want that coffee spike, I guess, that you get from caffeine. So you don't want to be up and then trying to perform at your peak, and then it sort of falls off. So I found for me that's been a really good sustainable energy for when I'm in the car. And there's so many products out there that I guess have caffeine in it to help stimulate you. So to find something else, I guess, that can have a similar effect, energy wise, is really good, but not have that fall off. So that's been really good for me. And also with the day-to-day training and the energy levels and stuff, and so even from the simple fact of not being able to, or not wanting to go train, I guess, because you haven't got the energy, you have a max ATP, and then you got a bit of pep in your step, and you really go perform better than you would, if you didn't have the ATP. So that side of it has been really beneficial for me. It's helped in every aspect of my life, even when you get off a plane, when you go race in different countries all around the world and you're feeling a bit, zapped, you just have one of them and you're feeling brand new. And then the Cellgevity side of it has been sort of a bit of a staple, I think, since almost 2014. So a long time now we've been having all that, and it's been really good. It's been, there's a lot of things that I guess people get shoved in your face and different supplements and stuff, but it's sort of the one thing that I have noticed when I don't have it, you actually notice a big difference in your energy levels, your recovery, all that sort of stuff. And some people obviously need a lot more than others, but it definitely is a great product, and both of them are something that I use very consistently.
Yeah, well, I think also coming into those endurance rounds, like we've got Bathurst around the corner now, and I've just seen you guys, your training programs to do interstate, which is all foreign for us because we're usually touching each other quite often. But being with COVID these days, we have to keep things by restrictions. But yeah, with those training programs, coming to endurance rounds now, you'll probably be doing a lot more of having, say, if you're doing training twice a day, you'll probably have like 1 or 2 ATPs a day, plus having how many Cellgevities, 3 or 4 in the morning, 3 at night, or?
Yeah, so normally 4 Cellgevities in the morning, 4 at night. And yeah, the good thing about it is you can sort of load it up and, and unload it, I guess, as the demands need. So yeah, of course, during a certain time like now, we've got bathurst. So that's something that this stuff really comes into its own, because you're depleting your system on so many levels, not only over that day, over the 4 or 5 days event that you have there. So it's important to keep on top of that to sort of, keep yourself going.
I just want to say congratulations, Andre, because you recently had a podium, and that was in one of the Adelaide races, I think, Adelaide Supercar events. Is that right?
Yeah, sure was. So I was at the Ben Motorsport Park in Adelaide. It's not quite the best weather at the moment, and around the track it's very windy and cold, but luckily for that bad weather, has actually had some good results and managed to get a trophy. The trophy is bloody massive though. I kind of feel like it's overcompensating for something, because I had it sitting behind the car on the toolbox. I'm like, holy Jesus, it's like the size of my whole torso, so it will look very impressive, I guess, in the trophy cabinet nonetheless.
Congratulations on that, Andre, and hopefully there's more trophies to add to that trophy cabinet.
Yeah,
I'm sure there will be.
I'm sure there will be
a big one next week.
Yes, yeah. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that.
No worries, awesome.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh and Andre. It's great to hear insights from real people in our market. And congratulations for making podium too. We're going to bring back John now, as he's going to take some time for some more recognitions and to offer some special congratulations to people in our market that you haven't heard from yet.
Good evening to all of our friends in Oceania, in New Zealand and Australia and Fiji and beyond. We have people dialing in and tuning in from all over the world, including in the Americas, in Africa, in the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, and throughout the entire MAX world. We welcome you, and it's a pleasure to be with you once again. Over the past 2 weeks, there's been broadcasts throughout the world with updates regarding all of the different and wonderful things going on in MAX. And it's my privilege today to be able to recognize some individuals with some awards specific to the MAX Oceania market. These awards are the combination of nominations from people both within the business at MAX Corporate in our New Zealand office, as well as members of the field who recognize the leadership and the example that is being set by people that they work with every day. So it's my privilege to announce 4 awards and the winners of those awards tonight. The first award that I'd like to announce goes to Simone McDougall. Simone is a member of our team in Australia, and she is being recognized for the Team Builder Award, which speaks for itself. A team builder is someone who always puts the members of their team first, never putting themselves before the members of the team. And according to all those who've nominated Simone, she stands out in this area specifically, where she's always concerned about the individuals on her team, not even just those who are personally sponsored by her, but those in her entire team and what is good for their well-being. She goes over and above in every instance to make sure that they have what they need and that she's leading by example. So it's my privilege to congratulate Simone McDougall with the Team Builder Award for the 2020 Oceania MAX Undivided Convention. Congratulations, Simone.
I've actually found that 2020 has been probably the most interesting year to be part of MAX International, because everyone's wanting to focus more on their health given the light of the current global situation. And it has been a very rewarding year to be part of MAX, because I have been able to really help those that have had a reality check and realise that they want to do something about their health and wellness. What inspires me most about sharing MAX in products are the stories that I get to hear from clients when they share with me the results that they've found when they've started taking ribosine. It's really warms my heart. Yeah, so teamwork I think is truly important when it comes to building personal growth and, you know, a new part of your business or a new career. And that's purely because sharing stories educates me personally and professionally at the same time. And by creating a team within Max, you get the connection that really truly gives you, I think, lights you up. And for me, is all about purpose and passion. And in 2020, connection couldn't be more important. And it's really, truly allowed me to keep moving forward with my business, but also personally by being able to use the products personally, but then being able to keep communicating within the team, because that's one of the true things that I truly love about Max is the community and the connection, and just the integrity and the authenticity about the product, and then the products speak for themselves. So if you can create a team around you and share the stories, because everyone's story can give you inspiration and educate you, and you can always take something away from it.
It's now my privilege to honor another Max associate for the Striving for Excellence Award, one that has been nominated by our corporate staff in the Max New Zealand office in Auckland. Striving for excellence means a lot of things, and in this case, it means that this individual is always working to improve themselves, both in terms of their personal traits and attributes, but in terms of the knowledge that they have and that they need to gain around Max products and the way that we conduct business and the way that an associate can succeed as part of their Max business. This individual has shown complete dedication in striving for excellence in all that she does, and she's been awarded this award based on the nomination from our Max corporate office. We congratulate Mary Lou Benson of our Australia market for receiving the Striving for Excellence Award, for setting an example of what it takes to always be your best, to continuing to expand your knowledge, for continuing to also helping others expand their knowledge of Max, Max products, and the way Max conducts business. Mary Lou, it is our privilege to award you the Striving for Excellence Award in 2020 as part of our Max Undivided convention. Mary Lou, well done. We look forward to working with you closely for many years to come.
Well, what inspires me the most is the fact that I know the product is good, and I can be very positive about telling people that the Max products do help you raise your immune system, and by so doing, your health becomes generally better. And I hate to see people sick around me when I know something can help them. I hope nobody thinks they're too old to join, because if you can talk, you can do this job. All you have to do is tell your friends what's happened and have them give it a try.
The next award that I have the privilege to announce is the Max Oceania 2020 Undivided Convention Customer Service Award. Recommendations have come from the field and have come from our Max corporate office. And I'm pleased to announce that Kamal Sharma has been named as the recipient of the Max Customer Service Award. This award is something that is awarded because of Kamal's professionalism, his cheerfulness, his friendly manner, and perhaps most importantly, the collaboration that he always seeks to strive to give and to get to make everyone better in the organization. He's truly an example of what true customer service can be and should be as we all work together to build the Max business, both individually and collectively as a company. So it's my privilege to announce officially that Kamal Sharma is the recipient of the 2020 Max Undivided Oceania Convention Customer Service Award. Kamal, well done, and continue the good work. Thank you. It's It's now my privilege to announce our 4th award, one that's unique to this year, that's part of the MACS 2020 Oceania Undivided Convention. And this award we have titled the Undivided Award. It recognizes someone who has never wavered in their dedication to MACS and to their individual business. It recognizes someone who's never given up through times that are very trying, through good times, through seeing people come into the business and leave the business. I've said many times that this might be the hardest business someone will ever be a part of. But for those who work hard, who stay with it, who give their heart and soul, who don't get discouraged about the times that are difficult, the times when there may be dips in their business, but are encouraged and that fight through those opportunities to build an even bigger business, are those who tend to succeed the most in this business. It is my privilege to award the MACS Undivided Award for 2020 for the Oceania MACS market to Bronwyn Hambrook, someone who I've had the privilege of working with directly, speaking with often, understanding the challenges and the successes that she's going through. Bronwyn, we recognize you for being the recipient of the MACS 2020 Undivided Award. And we thank you for your example, for your efforts, and for your constant striving to make MACS all that it can be. We are here to support you, and we know you're here to support MACS. Bronwyn, congratulations on receiving the MACS Undivided Award in this strange year of 2020. We look forward to working with you for years to come and seeing you reach the level of diamond and beyond. Thank you, Bronwyn. Keep up the great work.
I'm a mum, I'm a wife, and I'm also a nurse, and my health is so important to me because of everything that I need to fit into one day. And having ribosine to boost my glutathione levels enables me to keep on going and keep on going from day to day, so that I can do everything I possibly can to be the best mum, the best wife, the best nurse I possibly can. And I also have a love of educating people on their health and demonstrating how I have done it, and so can you. In the last couple of years, my world has turned upside down with family, and MACS International have been literally by my side 24/7. I only have to pick up the phone, text, and my support network is there. They've held my hand through my 2-year journey, and now it's my turn to give back to MACS International for all the love and support, the friendliness, the friends that I've made, the support I have. It is one phenomenal company that I am here for the long haul. I am not going anywhere. We have the best science in the world. We have the best product in the world. And it is one of the best companies I have ever worked with. And they are my family. And I absolutely love it. And I want to share this to the world.
As a major part of the MACS Undivided 2020 convention, several awards have been given to individuals all over the globe for special recognition about things that they've accomplished this past year. And it's my privilege to be able to announce that one of our fellow MACS associates in the Oceania market, specifically from Australia, has been recognized with the MACS Gives Back Global Award. This individual has shown tenacity, dedication, resiliency, and passion around the cause of defeating cancer. A cancer survivor herself, this individual has proven that she knows what it takes to not only survive, but to help others through the process. We are very honored
to recognize Karen Livingstone from Australia for receiving the Max Global Award for Max Gives Back. Karen, thank you for your work in the fight against cancer. Thank you for your dedication to helping others. Thank you for your passion and dedication around Max. And thank you for setting an example for all of us to follow as we look to find ways to support our communities and the entire world. We congratulate you on your award as Woman of the Year in the fight against cancer in Australia. And we honor you once again for the Max Gives Back Award as part of the Max Undivided 2020 convention. Thank you, Karen. You're a great example to each one of us. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, John, and thank you to Max International. My name is Karen Livingstone, and I have been awarded the Max Give Back Global Humanitarian Award for this year. I'm very honoured, I'm very grateful, and I thank Max for the award. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my life and why I've been considered for this award. I have had some tragedy and some challenges in my life. I lost my mother to ovarian cancer, I lost my father to prostate cancer, and I lost my husband at 51 years old to pancreatic cancer. So despite the challenges, cancer has been a driving force for me to make change in the world. In 2001, I actually co-founded a national consumer organisation called Ovarian Cancer Australia. That was very much a driving force to bring awareness of this cancer and its symptoms and its signs to the world, to Australia in particular, but certainly to raise the profile of the disease. In 2010, I actually joined a coalition to raise awareness and research funds for pancreatic cancer, another disease which is a 9% survival rate. And I know when my husband was given that diagnosis, it felt like a death sentence. Cancer is something that affects many people and many lives. My work in research, in the research community for ovarian cancer continues the need to actually make change and to improve survival for women. My passion is to preventative health and to get messages out to people about living their best life and being able to support their general wellness and well-being. Through my life challenges, I've actually learnt that I have a voice, and you have a voice as well. It's important that we actually use that voice to make change. I believe that we as a collective can actually make significant change. I do this, the work that I do is important because I lead people to actually tell their stories and to have their voice. So my advice to people is raise your voice and take action. My involvement with Max International has been a period of 10 years. I've been an associate. And certainly from my point of view, I've watched the company grow. And I've watched the science grow as well in terms of a compelling need to boost glutathione within our bodies. Max International's products have certainly resonated with me. They have enabled me to live my best life despite a chronic illness diagnosis. And I want people to know that there is a different way that they can live, not just wait to get sick, but certainly to improve their life now and their health now by supplementing what they need to keep themselves well, and also to improve their mental health in terms of knowing that they're doing everything that they can to support their system. I'm truly, truly grateful for this award, and I am absolutely passionate of the work that Max International does, and I'm very supportive, and they will always have my recommendation. Thank you to all the associates and to Max International.
As academic scientists, of course, we try to develop drug de novo, that is brand new drugs. And one of our expectations or our dreams is to have the fruits of our labor at the laboratory bench become reality. Many, many academic people may work all their lives on these drugs, but never have a product out in the market. And so it is a real dream for us to be able to have our drug that we develop ourselves in the laboratory become actually a reality and go out into the public to be used as a dietary supplement. Believe me, I was born way back in 1927. We lived in actually Hilo, Hawaii. And when the Depression came on, my parents decided to move out to Honolulu, big city, and we rode a steamship. As a matter of fact, it's a cattle ship it turned out to be. When I was growing up, my father knew of a poem, a Japanese poem, that says, Tenarai wa saka ni kuruma o osu goto shi, yudan wo sureba ato e modoru zo. Learning and education like pushing a cart up a hill. If you falter at all, the cart will go all the way down where you started. So you cannot falter. You must always persist and try to learn and keep learning throughout your life. I realized that becoming a chemist and living in the Hawaiian Islands, there was really very little opportunity. The only industry that hired chemists was the pineapple industry and the sugarcane industry. And I wanted to do more than just work with the pineapples or sugarcane. I looked all over for schools, and finally I ended up in Cleveland, Ohio, at Western Reserve University. Now it's called Case Western Reserve University. As a graduate student at the University of Minnesota in chemistry, we had to take all different types of chemistry. But then I was always interested in medicine and chemistry related to medicine. And that was fascinating for me. And that's what I vowed to be, a medicinal chemist. One of the courses I taught was my own specialty, and that is called drug metabolism. It is a course related to how a drug is metabolized once you take it in the body.
Sometimes postdoctorals who don't really take courses, but they would come and sit in on some of his lectures. Sometimes students who were not taking the course for credit would come and listen to some of the lectures. He gave some of the material that I think almost no one else would want to take on. And it was almost as much art as it was science, because you had to be able to really visualize these drawings. That's one of the interesting things about organic chemistry, is that you look at things on paper, but if you're really good, you can visualize them in 3 dimensions. And he could see all of that stuff in 3 dimensions.
Being at the Veterans Medical Center, we had to focus on the ailments that afflict veterans. And one of it was alcoholism. And so we decided that we'd better take a look at alcoholism and see whether there are any drugs to treat alcoholism, or better, how to prevent people from becoming alcoholics. We noticed that chronic alcoholics have low glutathione levels. Glutathione is very important because it protects your cells from becoming toxic. And without glutathione, the alcohol can become very toxic. The idea was perhaps what we should do is provide them with something, either glutathione itself or something that produces glutathione. And it turns out that if you give glutathione alone, it's not effective because it is not bioavailable. That is, if you take it, it can be absorbed by the body. And so you have to give the patient a precursor of glutathione, cysteine. But even cysteine is not bioavailable because it gets destroyed in your digestive system.
it was all focused on this notion of providing the body with the raw materials to maintain the levels of glutathione in order to help detoxify all sorts of toxic situations or agents or whatever that you might run into. And it was just such an interesting concept, of a really positiveness to it, to bolster the body's own ability to protect itself. And so that was just fundamentally interesting. We hit upon this idea of using sugars in conjunction with the amino acid cysteine, which is the backbone, and ribose was one of the sugars that we tested. And the combination of those two obviously became ribosine.
Here's how ribosine works. Since cysteine is not bioavailable when taken by mouth, meaning it is destroyed before getting to the cell, we chemically combine cysteine with ribose, a natural sugar present in your body, to produce a new compound called ribosine, which is now stable and can be taken by mouth. Once it reaches the cell, ribosine is converted back to cysteine and ribose by a process known as hydrolysis, which requires water. Now this cysteine can combine with glutamic acid, which is already present in the cell. That compound, known as glutamic acid cysteine, then combines with glycine, another amino acid present in cells. The final result is glutathione, the body's master antioxidant. You want to have a molecule as important as ribosine, you want it to be taken by everyone.
The poem that my father taught me said, you cannot give up, you have to keep pushing. And unless you keep pushing, you'll fall way behind. So this is what one has to do constantly. Always keep pushing and be an optimist and try to do as much as you can to try to develop a good product. And that's what we strive to do as much as possible.
Well, Dr. Nagasawa, my name is Bronwyn. I'm from Australia and I've been with Max International now for 5 years, and I absolutely am enthralled with the science that you have provided to the world. And me in particular here in Australia, I want to be the face of Australia, and I want to share your love and passion for ribosine. And I'm here for the long haul, Dr. Nagasawa, and thank you so much for making me well.
Here's a big shout out to Herb Nagasawa. Thank you so much, Herb, for all the fabulous work that you've done in research and development over many decades and are still doing.
So I want to take this opportunity to thank you, Dr. Herb Nagasawa, for your commitment and dedication to your amazing science and research.
I'd like to say a big thank you to Dr. Nagasawa for giving me back my health and my vitality.
Thank you, Dr. Nagasawa, for your ribosine products. They've made a massive difference to myself, my friends and my family. I couldn't be more grateful for these products. Thank you.
I would say I'm forever grateful for Professor Nagasawa for his dedication and commitment of 25 years of coming up with this formulation, because every single day it's changing lives as much as he was focusing on his brother at the time, and it's just a beautiful ripple effect that I see every day. But personally for myself, I'm forever grateful because it was a very big turning point in my life when I was able to introduce it for myself.
Thank you, Dr. Nagasawa, for your amazing and significant contribution to glutathione research. My promise to you is that I will continue to share and talk about glutathione and about ribosine to as many people as I can, because I feel it is really important, and knowledge is power, and there are many more people out there to benefit.
Hello, everyone. I would like to personally welcome all of you to the first virtual MACS Global Convention. When I promised to see you again, who would have predicted that we would be in the middle of a global pandemic? Despite these challenges, however, I am confident that science will prevail and overcome this crisis with effective treatments and ultimately a vaccine for this novel coronavirus. Thank you, all you associates of MACS, for educating the public about the importance of glutathione for maintaining good health, and in particular the role of ribosine in this regard. Never in my wildest dream did I think that ribosine is now available to millions of people throughout the world, all because of you, your individual efforts. I still continue to carry out research with my colleagues at the University of Minnesota, and recently suggested the possible use of glutathione enhancers to be studied in human clinical trials for COVID-19 patients. As a palliative treatment, improving glutathione levels will boost the natural production of our own T-cell lymphocytes to ward off invading pathogens, since glutathione is absolutely required for the production of lymphocytes. There are a number of clinical trials now underway to see whether COVID patients would benefit from this type of treatment. I'm fine and healthy, as you can see. Our two sons, Scott and Stuart, make sure that my wife and I are confined to our home and not exposed to the general public. In fact, they do all the marketing and shopping for us. For exercise, we walk at least a mile 3 times a week using the pedometer that Scott gave me on my 93rd birthday 4 months ago. All of you, please stay safe and healthy yourselves, and remember 2 things: mask and social distancing. Again, I thank you sincerely for making my dream come true.
I don't know about you, but I always appreciate hearing more from Herb Nagasawa. An absolute pleasure to hear someone with a dedication to hard work and quality science. For our next segment, we're going to pass to one of our local associates to introduce our next guest. Take it away, Sue.
Hi, I'm Sue Barron, and I have the privilege and absolute pleasure to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine, Bobby Horn from Houston in Texas. Bobby and I met over 10 years ago at a Max convention in the USA. We gelled instantly, we were on the same page. We both recognized the power of ribosine and really felt that ribosine needed to be recognised more by the medical profession and be utilised more in the healthcare industry. So over the past 10 years, our friendship has strengthened. We've bounced
January that turned out to be a much bigger conversation than I realized. It was with Janet Moriyama. She's an associate in Canada, and she had asked me if I would help her put together a health symposium that we could roll out to take place in the spring up in Toronto. I immediately said yes, and along with a team of people that Janet put together, we started having meetings. That was back in January. We also invited John Winterholler from the corporate team to help lead us and to make sure that we were following all the rules and regulations that we needed to follow. So we got to about March and we were faced with the pandemic. And rather than scrap all the work that we had done and all the planning that we had done, we decided to turn it into a virtual symposium. And that's where it affects you. Instead of having just the Toronto area be involved in the symposium, we decided we wanted to make it available to all Max associates across the globe. So I'm excited here with the Max Undivided convention to be able to make an announcement to you that we will be having a health symposium, a virtual health symposium for all healthcare professionals in mid-November. We don't have the exact date yet. That will be rolled out on the Max blog as it becomes available, and we will let you know about it. But rather than just telling you about an event that's coming up, we wanted to make sure that you understood that we could train you as well, so that you would be able to not only invite health professionals that you personally know, but then you might be a little bit more comfortable going out and having those difficult conversations with health professionals you may not already have a relationship with. So before I get too far, let me tell you a little bit about our presenters. The first presenter is a friend of mine, dear friend of mine. Her name is Dr. Margie Smith, and I'm going to read a little bit to you about what what her credentials are. Dr. Margie Smith is a molecular geneticist with over 30 years experience in neurogenetics and cancer genetics. She has worked in major teaching hospitals in New Zealand and Australia. In 2009, Margie became co-founder of a nutritional genomic company called SmartDNA. And SmartDNA is a testing company that does saliva testing to be able to specifically target nutritional changes and lifestyle changes that you can make through your food, through your beverages, through your exercise, and through your supplements to be able to silence the genes that don't serve you well. And this is a very personalized genomic wellness test. Dr. Smith has also written a book called Gene Genius that was published in 2015. So we're excited that she's going to be our first presenter. The second presenter is our own Dr. Scott Nagasawa, who's our Executive Director of Product Research. Scott Nagasawa has a successful history as a Senior Vice President of Professional Services for a national pharmacy provider, and later was co-owner of a regional home infusion pharmacy. And prior to joining MACS, Dr. Nagasawa was a Chief Technology Officer for the startup company 𝐇𝐄𝐋𝐿, founded by himself, Scott Momi, and Dr. Herb Nagasawa. Together, they developed this breakthrough product that is now MACS's premier product. Scott received his Doctor of Pharmacy degree from the University of Southern California, and as Director of Pharmaceutical Services for a large teaching hospital in Los Angeles, California, he held the positions of Clinical Instructor of Pharmacy Practice and Adjunct Assistant Professor of Pharmacy Practice at the University of Southern California. So that's an exciting lineup. The symposium will take place, as I said, in mid-November. It will be recorded so that it is something that you can invite people to over several days, and they will be able to hear the information. And we're excited that we're going to be offering this training to you as well. So we put together a group of people from across the globe that will be helping to train. So if you don't speak English and I don't speak Spanish, then we're going to be able to make sure that you are sufficiently trained. Let me tell you a few of the things that we're going to talk about, because we want you to be prepared. So we're going to actually show you how to do your homework. How do you go about making sure that you understand about the physician's practice that you're going to call on? If it's not a personal friend, we want to make sure that you are adequately prepared. We're going to show you how to do your research. We want you to be well versed on ribosine and what makes it different. And the presenters have put together some extraordinary information that is also around COVID-19 and how you can actually reduce your risk.
Okay, so this impressive looking figure here is looking at the viral mechanism of COVID-19 and how it might be opposed by zinc. And it's looking at a combination of data. So if we look at the risk groups again, just to summarize that. So there's an impressive intersection of known risk factors for zinc deficiency in this blue circle here, and the predisposition for severe COVID-19 infection in the red circle. So it's this intersection piece that really shows the risk factors for zinc deficiency and also COVID-19 infection. And if we move our way through the next two images here, 2 and 3, this is looking at zinc supplementation. And it might already prevent the viral entry and also suppression and replication of the virus. So it also supports at the same time antiviral responses in host cells. So that's a very important piece, that zinc supplementation may decrease viral replication and also stop the binding of the virus to the ACE2 receptor that we discussed previously. Now, when it comes to the lung barrier and lung function, there's another important piece here in relation to zinc, and that it increases the ciliary length, so these ciliary fibers here, that help us to clear our lungs. And also it sustains, stops the tissue injury, and also the entrance of the virus can be impeded at this point with appropriate zinc levels in the body. Now, from 5 through to 10, if we summarize this information, we're looking here at the importance of zinc on the development and function of the immune cells, and that's manifold throughout this section. It should be underlined that zinc's effects should not generally be described as activating or inhibiting, as zinc in various cases normalizes overshooting of immune reactions and balances the ratios of various immune cell types. So zinc can prevent, for example, the high levels of inflammatory mediators, including reactive oxygen species and nitrogen species that destroy host tissue. So that's a really important piece when we're looking at reactive oxygen species production, and we talked about glutathione as the master antioxidant in this role, and also controlling and regulating the immune response between anti-inflammatory cytokines and pro-inflammatory cytokines. Now, if we look at point 11 here, on first view, it appears sort of contradicting in a way that the zinc increases the activation and induced production of reactive oxygen species in platelets, while it's generally considered to be antioxidative. However, and this is interesting, that in the case of platelets, up to a certain threshold, reactive oxygen species production is essential as it can prevent the formation of platelet aggregates. So if we look at this diagram in summary, what we can say is that zinc might be able to prevent vascular complications observed in COVID-19 patients. So one other way to look at this data is to go to this publication, and each of these sections here are discussed more fully than what I have done in this presentation. And in summary, what we can say is that zinc and glutathione are important allies in the fight against viral replication, reactive oxygen species, inflammation, bradykinin and cytokine storms and tissue recovery. So, you know, as a combined effect, the synergy between these two, zinc and glutathione, is really very impressive when it comes to looking at lung barrier function and immune support in relation to COVID-19. So there's a nice summary. Please go and review this publication for further details.
Here is a study that was published in the British journal Lancet on the relationship between glutathione and our health. This study evaluated 4 groups of individuals, 66 young healthy volunteers with a mean age in their mid-20s, 58 healthy elderly. By definition, they had no major medical problems in the last 5 years and they were on no medications, 49 elderly outpatients that were diagnosed to have a chronic disease and being followed up in an outpatient clinic for management, and the final group, males and females, and they found glutathione levels decrease with increasing age regardless of our gender. And the reason for this decrease, the first enzyme responsible for glutathione production, glutamate cysteine ligase, becomes less efficient as we age, and therefore less glutathione is produced. There are many causes that deplete our glutathione levels, which is the rationale for supplementation. As I mentioned, exposure to environmental toxins and pollutants, their removal and detoxification through the glutathione detoxification pathway can lead to glutathione depletion. In addition, many other causes related to free radical formation can all lower our glutathione levels, including getting older. So these are all good reasons why we need to consider supplementation in order to maintain optimal glutathione levels. Just this month, in the prestigious Journal of Infectious Disease, a publication of the American Chemical Society, the authors suggest that the deficiency of endogenous glutathione is the underlying cause of serious illness and death in elderly COVID-19 patients. Specifically in the elderly, There are age-related and disease-related impaired redox homeostasis and associated oxidative stress, which contributes to the more severe outcomes. He mentions, this decline in glutathione with age, and points out that many of these individuals also have chronic diseases associated with low glutathione levels. Anybody interested in reading this paper can access the ACS journal website.
So we want you to be able to present that as well. We're going to show you how to do research, and that's exciting because I have a clinical research background and it's one of my passions, and it's one of the things that I'd like to be able to show you how to do as well, as far as understanding what glutathione does for the body. We're going to teach you how to be prepared for answering questions so that you don't get stumped. We don't have to have all the answers, we just have to know where to find the answers. So we're going to help you do that. Now, there will be a link on the MACS blog. We will ask you to register for the training. We want to know that you've been trained. We want to know that you are participating. We want to know if you want to play a bigger role, if you want to be one of the trainers. So we're going to make that available to you, and I'm so excited to invite you to this virtual symposium. It's been a lot of hard work from a lot of people on the corporate team, and we really want this to be successful for you. So thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the future, and so glad that we are MACS Undivided.
Hey, so I guess you're wondering, are we going to hear Destiny sing tonight? She sung at every other event. The cruise, I was totally robbed of first place, by the way. Max Active, The Greatest Showman had just come out. Come on, guys. Mad Week, totally wasn't even there, but somehow I ended up singing. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer to hear from me because it's time to say goodbye. We've thoroughly enjoyed the last couple of hours as we've celebrated, heard amazing messages, and recognized you, our MACS family. Over the last 2 weeks, we have traversed across the globe. We've partied together, we've trained together, and we really have become undivided. We are one, we are MACS. It's now time to say goodbye, and to close us off, we'd like to hear one last time from Joe, our CEO. Until next time, MACS family, I've been your host with the most. This is me. Oh, 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 oh. Not afraid to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. We are one. We are MACS. We are undivided family.
Hey everybody, Joe Wojtycki, CEO of MACS International here. And I'm here to talk to you today about the enhancements to the compensation plan. But before we talk about that, I want to talk to you about the process that we went through. Well, we gathered field leaders from around the world, diamond leaders with great experience in compensation plans and how they work. The whole idea was for all of us to come together, bring our ideas and our creativity to making this compensation plan even better. And we've done it. The compensation plan enhancements are going to go into effect on December 1st. But before that, we ask you to log on to your new virtual office, or the old one if you're more comfortable, and check out the videos that have been done by some of the best field leaders in the world talking about these enhancements to the MACS compensation plan. We thank you for your partnership. We look forward to working with you in building your business. Congratulations to the field leaders, and thank you. I look forward to seeing all of you at a MACS Opportunity meeting. Hey everybody, Joe Wojtycki, CEO of MACS International here. Wow, what an unbelievable 3 weeks of conventions we have had. We are wrapping up now all of the conventions from around the world, which have been unbelievable. We have seen highlights that are just amazing. I think that seeing the video from Dr. Herb Nagasawa is at the top of the list. Seeing the unbelievable appreciation and thank yous that all of you guys put together to say to Herb how much you appreciate the 25 years of research, the 25 years of work that he put in to these unbelievable great products. Those thank yous warm my heart, and I know Dr. Nagasawa is going to be incredibly appreciative of that, because all of you have contributed to making his dream come true of creating a product that would help everybody in the entire world. But without you, without the teamwork, without the sharing of those products, without the telling people how great these things are, sharing your stories, that dream would not have come true. So thank you guys for those videos. And some of the unbelievable keynote speeches that we heard from the Philippines and from the US convention and from the Africa convention. All amazing. And from the New Zealand Oceania convention. What unbelievable keynote speeches that we all got to hear and learn from. Most importantly, you always want to be learning. That is one of the key things to be successful. Always have an open mind and always be learning. So we want to be very appreciative and thank the keynote speakers for their tremendous contributions. I am so thankful for all of the contributions made by all of our leaders who had some amazing speeches and some amazing trainings that they have given. Unreal, just beautiful. And I'm so thankful to all of the corporate staff for the tremendous amount of work that they put in all across the globe. This was a tremendous effort from our marketing team, from our events team, from everybody in customer care, from all of the sales associates, the entire team. This happen, to making these conventions, these virtual conventions, happen around the world. What an unbelievable effort by so many people to make such a great product, to show the max opportunity to everyone around the world. So I want to say thank you to everybody. And in closing this convention, I want to go back to the opening of the Oceania convention, where there was a video that was played, and it talked about 4 very, very important lessons that I want to bring to you guys and reiterate this so that we take something from these conventions moving forward. Number 1, the first lesson that they talked about is that every day is an opportunity. Let's think about that, because sometimes it's tough to see the day as that. Especially when we are going through an unbelievably difficult time. We've been dealing with so many hard things in 2020 across the world, around in every country. There have been new challenges that we've had to face. We've never all been so separated in isolation so that we would protect each other. That was the concept, that we had to protect each other. And no longer was it just about a country, a single country. This was the opportunity for all of us as human beings, as a species, to protect each other, to come together, to put down all of our differences, all of these false borders that meant nothing to a virus, which crossed from country to country, continent to continent. But it gave us an opportunity to say we are in this together, that we are going to fight this together, that we are going to look out for this, look out for each other together. That's the opportunity. There are other opportunities as well, that we are going to come together as a team in MAX. That was something that we have done, and we've done it really well. When we first had this crisis come up Back in March, the corporate team, we got together to say, how are we going to communicate better? How are we going to build our relationships so that they're better? How are we going to execute to make sure that we continue to protect the business for our associates, make sure that they have the products that they need, make sure that their incomes are protected? And we've done it. We took that opportunity to come together to solve the problem together. Now, was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. But we took that opportunity to do it. And we took the opportunity from the field leaders to come together to make enhancements to the compensation plan. We came together to create new trainings. We came together to make our virtual office better. We looked at it as an opportunity. Let's look at things. Every day is a new opportunity. Very, very important. We can do this together. Now, lesson number 2, make time for the little things. That's interesting. Make time for the little things. You know, what is looked at now as or before as a little thing? Making an extra phone call. Now, checking in on your people, making sure that the people on your team are okay. You know, because this is a very, very difficult time. Not just in terms of the fact that, hey, you know, you've got businesses that are having a rough time, you know, people are looking out, trying to figure out how to make things work economically. I mean, these are all challenges, but there are new challenges that the separation may cause, the isolation may cause. People are now experiencing being on their own, away from contact with other people in a different way that we've never seen. You know, so let's think about the little things. That phone call, maybe that Zoom connection, right? Checking in just to make sure, maybe putting on the mask, maybe going by somebody's window and giving them a wave, letting them know that they matter, that they are important, because again, we are connected. All of those little things that we may have taken for granted before are now very, very big things and very, very important things to pay attention to, because again, we are all in this together. And the little things, those are the things that bind people together. Number 3 was show people around the place, not just as guests, but as family, so that we can pass on our knowledge. Wow, I felt that that was very, very powerful. And what that meant to me was when you bring somebody to this Max opportunity, take your time to show them around the entire place that is Max. And now what are we talking about there? I'm talking about show them who we are. Share with them the videos of Dr. Herbert Nagasawa and his mission, his vision, his values, so that they know the foundation of what this business is built upon, that we care at our core about their health, number 1, and that this business, the science behind this business is sound. Share with them all of the studies on ribosine, that ribosine has been put to the test. Take them personally into the new virtual office. Show them how easy it is now to navigate and build their business through the virtual office. Show them how much Max International and you as leaders care about their success. Take them to the training videos. So many of those training videos not done just by the corporate staff, but also done by some of the best leaders and trainers in the world. You. Show them how much you care about their success. Do that. Treat them as family. Treat them as somebody that really, really matters to you. And finally, the 4th, do whatever it takes to make them feel welcome. So important. This is an extraordinary year, extraordinary in so many different ways. We want people to feel welcome at Max, right? We right now are in such an insane time. There is so much pressure all over the place, not just from the pandemic. We have elections going on all across the globe, it seems. And these things are designed, elections are designed to be binary, either this or that. And it tends to separate people. It tends to make people feel like I am right or and they are wrong. This is a lot of pressure that we are all dealing with right now. But I hearken back to Dr. Nagasawa. We are all humans. The purpose of creating ribosine was to benefit humanity, not to benefit this group or that group, not to say that this group is better than that group and this group is right and that group is wrong, and if you vote this way or vote that way, you're a bad person. No. We want to remember who we are. We want everyone to be welcome at Max International. We want everyone to feel that they can benefit from being part of this great company, being part of these tremendous products, being part of this tremendous Max family. Because without all of you, without the efforts of people from the United States, from Puerto Rico, from Central and South America, from New Zealand, from Australia, from Malaysia, from the Philippines, from Africa, we wouldn't have been able to produce this tremendous event. We wouldn't have been able to put together all of the wonderful showcase pieces that each of you have contributed to. We are together. We are undivided. This is so important for people to know. We are together. We put aside all of the things that we think may separate us. We are so lucky to have this great, great company that binds all of us behind one mission. That is to help people live healthier, happier lives. That is what we are all trying to do. And we have come together to demonstrate that, to put it on full display over the last several weeks. That is what makes this company so special, is we have all contributed a tremendous amount to make this place feel welcome. And do you know why? Because everyone is welcome here, and you guys have shown that. So in this time where there are so many things, so many distractions, so many very, very real pressures that are trying to separate us, you make sure that we follow that lesson learned from the New Zealand video, that we want to make everyone feel welcome. We want everyone to feel together. We want everyone to join in the mission of making humanity a better place and raising the level, the standard of living across the globe. We want to make sure that everyone knows that we are Max and we are undivided. I am Joe Wojtycki. I am Max International. And more than ever, you are Max International, and most importantly, we are Max, and we are undivided.